Welcome in to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, the only podcast on the Marshland Media Empire conglomeration experience, beaming directly into your brain cells, episode by episode, beat by beat, and sweat by sweat. Lucha Underground, welcome on in. It's me, your co-host, Sean Cinny Marciniak, alongside James McCollum.
Oh yeah, Cinny the Goose is here, guys. He's flying high and squeezing down sin.
Absolutely. Shouts out to Santi, aka Fortnite Spider-Man, who went on to my, admittedly not going doing a lot right now, Discord, to say you are now officially Cinny.
Yes, dude. Wait, why?
So that's one.
Why isn't he in the Marshland Media one? I don't think he is he?
That's a great question. Hey, Santi.
Yeah.
That was really nice of what you did, calling me Cinny. I like how is praising Santi and then immediately shaming them for not being in your Discord.
Well, no, that's not. I wouldn't shame. I'd say like, hey, thank you for doing that there. You want to know where you could find a lot of like-minded individuals who are really into this bullshit we do over on the Marshland Media Discord. There's probably a link to join in this description, which I don't know what's happening, Sean. I don't know if you have been seeing this saga unfold there. Just a bunch of people joining the Discord server and then, not doing anything, not saying anything, or immediately leaving. So I just everyone who is still there, I just made one message adding all of them, was like, hey, how are you doing? How'd you find us? So I'm going to wait a few days, and if they don't respond, I'm just going to remove them.
Hey, okay, you know what? That's how it should be done. That's how immigration should be handled in this country.
What?
We can edit that out.
Yeah, maybe. Unless you explain yourself.
If you come to this country
and you just don't do anything, well, then you're not really hurting. Like, if you just, dig a hole and you're, hanging out there, but then that's suspicious. If you dig a hole and you're just hanging out there, I'm gonna think, I don't know, are you a sleeper cell? Are you a weirdo? Are you going to keep digging? You're going to become a self-fracker, and then you're causing earthquakes everywhere. Now you're a supervillain. So yeah, maybe we should be doing it this way, Sean.
Oh, no. Listen, that was I feel like every month and a half or so, we'd take a swing at going alt-right so we can get some more listeners, and that was my swing, and I don't like that as fighting purchase.
Okay.
If you come to this country and all you want to do is dig holes, as long as you're not a fracking supervillain, which we will do the research, vigilante style. James and I are both individual Batmans. Fucking dig some holes, man. That's one of the coolest things you can do when you're at the beach. You ever just dig a hole really deep to see how deep you can dig a hole? That shit's fun as hell.
But that's fine because you are probably interacting with people who are also on the beach. But if you're just like the people in our Discord, just becoming phantom ghosts, that's when it becomes well, what are you doing here? Because I just think all of them are about to scam us. That's my issue. Whereas,
not gonna lie, I did lose the plot of the point. I did forget we were talking about the people in your Discord coming in and not doing anything. I got distracted by digging holes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, obviously, you gotta, on a larger scale issue, if you or a more immediate, if you motherfuckers are just coming in and not doing anything, there's a real good chance you might be bots. Get the fuck up out of here. But if you're going to the beach,
or if you're coming to our country and just working, stay. It's fine.
Yeah. And if you're going to the beach and you're just digging holes and not interacting with anyone, because I'll say from experience, if I'm out there in hole digging mode, I ain't talking to people. That's not a very social activity for me. That might be someone who comes by and be like, hey, that's a pretty deep hole. And I'll be like, yeah. And that's it. And that's fine too. You don't have to. You're allowed to be in public and not be social if it's just not in your heart that day. And if you want to dig that hole in the beach as deep as you can go, fucking God bless you.
That's very Bart Simpson of you. Remember that episode where he's just digging a hole?
Nope.
Oh, damn, dude. You got to watch The Simpsons.
Is that a TV show? Is that like Futurama?
Oh, my God. Is that like Disenchantment?
Is that like, oh, shit, what was the comic where they had the bunny ears?
Bunny crazy guys.
But is that like Bunny Crazy Guys?
Yeah, exactly like Bunny Crazy Guys. Did you know he was originally going to make that a short and pitch that to Fox? But then he's like, wait, no, I want to own this outright forever, so he then switched over and made The Simpsons.
But did give Marge Simpson's bunny ears, at least like in his mind in season 1. I don't know if it ever came out that she was going to have bunny ears under her big hair.
You don't know if it ever came out, but you have that information. I think it came out.
Well, okay, hold on. I don't.
Unless you made it up.
I don't know. Yeah, I lie on here all the time.
Okay.
Remember that shit I said about immigration not but 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
No, I don't know if like the ears ever came out, Sweet James. If the ears ever came out from underneath of her blue hair.
Okay. You want to let's do some alt-right stuff real quick to get some listeners.
Sure, let's just, yeah. We got to get this out of our system so we don't have to do it again in like a month and a half.
All right, release the Epstein files. That's alt-right now. Yeah.
That's everyone. That's everyone, actually.
I know, it's weird that, people are connecting on that. Besides, the Republicans in Senate and Congress, etc.
Yeah. The people in power who have something to lose if the Epstein files come out because those motherfuckers are on them. You know what? Yeah.
All that's going to be, when they release it, it's just going to be Epstein's name and articles within grammar, and everything else will be redacted. We get of, an, all of that's in there, and Epstein, nothing else.
Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's name will be the only name on there. He's just like, oh, come on, guys. I thought you had my back on this one. And everyone's like, nah.
You don't,
it's not the 90s anymore, but I'm sorry. Nobody listens to Sublime unironically anymore. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry. The 90s are over.
I think a lot of people listen to it unironically now. Now, they're listening to Sublime with Rome, ironically.
I don't hate Sublime with Rome. I don't enjoy listening to them, but I'm glad they're out there.
Okay, all right.
Like they're having fun. They're having a good time.
If only we got Sublime in Rome. Oh my God, them jamming in the Colosseum.
What's that Hilary Duff movie where she ends up in Rome? Lizzie McGuire in Rome? That's the name of the movie. Don't fact check me.
Lizzie McGuire movie. What's that one where, Lizzie McGuire ends up in Rome and it's a movie?
I thought there was going to be like there's the Muppet movie, and then there's the Muppet Takes. Then sometimes the sequel is set in a specific. Don't you fucking judge me.
Hey, what's that one where Hannah Montana, it's a movie and she like goes back home? Is it called Hannah Montana Go Back Home? No, it's not.
No, that's Homeward Bound, and Hannah Montana is a cat, and her best friends are 2 dogs.
I forgot shit. It's on one of the either Death to Squids or it's probably Death to Squids, where I was researching the writer of a movie and I found out it's like, it was the people who wrote Josie and the Pussycats also wrote Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco, and all these other movies that I reference all the time. And I'm like, whoa, man, they might just be the people I need to watch everything in their filmography.
They might just be your favorite writers ever.
Yeah.
That's a wild. And you know what? But I can see it. Like Josie and the Pussycats is such like a tongue-in-cheeky kind of movie. That's like, you've probably had a long time writing corporate schlock.
Yeah.
No offense. I doubt it was their passion project to write the sequel to Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Fran. Get the fuck out of here. It's really good, okay? They're in San Francisco. They go to the Castro district and Chance and Shadow start fucking, all right?
I don't think that's true. I think that might be misinformation.
I really hope Chance is one of the dogs and not one of the pet owners. I gotta check that out real quick.
Go ahead. Chance is the older dog. He's the golden retriever. I know my Homeward Bound.
Shadow is the older dog.
Oh, then Chance is the younger dog.
No, I think Chance is the younger dog's owner. Hold on.
Are you sure? All right. Because I'm pretty sure, but we'll hold.
Okay, no, Chance is the younger dog and Shadow is the older dog. Rattler played Chance and Ben played Shadow.
Wait, what?
Yeah, those were the dogs' names that were playing the dogs.
Oh, okay. I was sitting here like, I'm pretty sure that was Michael J. Fox, at least in the first movie.
It is.
Yeah. And then the actor, I forget who the actor was, but he passed away before this. Like that was his final movie, the actor who played Shadow.
Dom Amitch.
Dom Amici, yes. Dom Amitch. That's what That's what I do whenever I see Mitch from the Doughboys at the old sex dungeon. I dom a Mitch.
Okay, but it's Don.
Yeah, but that's not what I do.
You don him because you're wearing him around your cock, you know?
Yeah, of course. Waving hello.
I think my one skill when it comes to like comedy is finding justifications for someone misspeaking. I can like in a roundabout way get to where like, no, he didn't misspeak. This is actually what he meant.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and then my one skill when it comes to comedy is yes-anding all the perversion that you justify my misspeaking for. That's the one thing. If you misspeak, don't worry, James will take care of you. But to yes and, you're going to be a pervert.
Oh, yeah. And you want to know who it is a pervert? These freaks cutting off heads. We got California Johns instead of Indiana Jones here today.
That shit is so indicative. We're jumping ahead to the end of the episode, which we'll get to. Is so indicative of what season 4 is. Like, it is cornier. It is a little wackier. And I fucking love it. It feels like a natural evolution for where for like what Lucha Underground, especially what Johnny Mundo brings to Lucha Underground. It is so silly and so lovely.
Even Vampiro kind of mentions it when Stryker brings up how maybe Pentagón doesn't need a partner because he gets his power, his strength from the temple's believers. And then Vampiro says, that's hokey. You think the man who set me on fire gives a shit what the believers say? No, he set me on fire in season 1. But now, he is running around saying like, hey guys, chant my little saying.
Or I think it's weird. It's the thing we'll go, we're jumping ahead all over the place. It's the thing Penta is like that we talked about last week when it was Penta versus Cage. That has always been Penta's weakness. Dude loves it. Dude loves to get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Like that, whether it's from the people or it's just being such a chaos gremlin, like that's where he draws his strength.
Or getting lost in the real sauce, a ice cold Modelo.
AKA piss.
Yeah.
Because alcohol and cocaine can never just be alcohol and cocaine on this show.
No, it can't.
It cannot.
Dude, maybe for Pissmas this year, I drink a bunch of Modelo.
You just get drunk for the first time in your life?
Yeah, it would be for the first time.
Okay. As someone who's gotten drunk before, you're a better person for it.
I need to send you the episode. Over on the Patreon, patreon.com/MLM pod, Jose and I did a Death to Squids special where we discussed 3 episodes of Step by Step. I brought up how I think I could eat 6 packs of Jell-O, and over the course of a podcast, it actually relates to the episodes of Step by Step we were discussing. But
okay.
Because I want to, for Nicole and I's 12-year anniversary coming up,
eat 6 packs of Jell-O. Happy anniversary, babe.
Well, I would eat 6 and she would eat 6 for a combination of 12 because the original idea was us eat a dozen donuts for Magical Meatball Girls to really let these new listeners in on hey, this is the people we are. This is the dumb shit. But also we'll be so stoned that we're like, oh yeah, I'm going to eat 12 donuts. But I looked up, eventually we will do this. Jose and I have a thing where Joe will be coming over to discuss a movie like he usually does mid-franchise, so he has zero context. Then he will come in and then we'll start the show and then I'll be like, wait, Nicole needs to bring something in. We'll bring in a total of what is 6 packs of Jell-O and I just start eating it. So Joe has zero context for that as well.
Okay. Is it so? It's just the Jell-O. I'm picturing those old school, those little boxes that would have the powder in them. Are you just doing the powder?
No. I'm making Jell-O.
Oh, okay.
The powder I could 100% get down.
Will it turn into Jell-O in your stomach though?
No,
that's
because
terrifying.
You would need it to be cold as well. So I would just be eating maybe hot water.
Yeah, I was going to say, so just make sure you don't do this in the wintertime.
Oh, no. We can't do that.
No. You're going to get a big old jello tummy in your tummy. And I'm pretty sure that's how they did the real effects of exploding a man's stomach in the Alien movie.
Okay, I think so.
That really happened, by the way. If you didn't know, that's not, they murdered that man.
Yeah, as you should for
Jell-O.
art.
Yeah. If you're an actor and you're not prepared to die on camera, hey buddy, maybe go back to level 1 of your Second City training and learn how to commit to the bit.
You want to know who's committed to the bit? Big Rick, Vibora,
yo, I am so
Bale, etc.
Hey James, you want to know something else? What would you say if you saw a bunch of the stink lines coming off of your favorite snake, a real stinky snake? Those just might be the ranks of the reptiles.
Oh dang! Season 4, episode 8 of Lucha Underground, beat by beat, sweat by sweat.
100%. This recap, I literally said not the recap with Mac. This business isn't about showing off your fancy moves. Big Rick telling Mac. Like all the way back in season 1, because we mentioned that before, that's how Mac and Killshot knew each other. They came in under Big Rick, who was Mac's cousin. Like Killshot was a mercenary, Mac was Big Rick's cousin, and he tells him that this business isn't about showing off your fancy moves. It's about making money. We also get Johnny calling the reptiles slimy turd cutters, which again, thank you season 4 for giving us these gifts.
What? How does a snake cut turds? I just don't get it.
With the big old sword we saw used to cut off Pindar's head at the end of season 3. That's the ritualistic sword used for murdering betrayers and for cutting turds.
I hope next episode we get a new wrestler and his name is like Tall Man Jones, and it's just Vibora. People are like, well, clearly that's that guy. Like, we can't suspend our disbelief. There is only one man that height with those tattoos with that build. You can't do this. This is just like the Blue Falcon.
Tall Man Jones. Are you talking about the Blue Blazer? The old Owen. I almost said Owen Wilson. Owen Hart gimmick. Yeah. What if, okay, so everyone was like, Owen Hart's clearly the Blue Blazer. He has the same nose, he has the same voice. What if it was Owen Wilson this whole time and wrestling fans were just dumb?
But wouldn't that mean Owen Hart then took up the roles of Owen Wilson? And Owen Wilson tragically passed away at the hands of gross negligence? Allegedly.
Exactly. That's why Wes Anderson movies haven't been good since the Royal Tenenbaums.
You know that's a bold-faced lie. We just saw one and we all loved it.
Phoenician Scheme is great, by the way. If you have not seen it yet, go out of your way. It's Javier Bardem. It's Javier Bardem, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Such a good Wes Anderson hero of just very like undercut jokes and very matter-of-fact jokes. So good. So worth it. But yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Owen Wilson died back in the 90s, and it's been Owen Hart just crushing it as Drillbit Taylor and Speedy McFastcar from the movie Cars. I don't remember his name. Lightning McQueen. I remembered his name.
Which this means Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson on film can kiss. They're not really blood related.
Yes, finally.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But Owen Wilson cannot kiss Bret Hart. That's the double-edged sword.
God, and I really wanted to see them do a non-simulated blowjobs, just like in Buffalo 66, okay? No, not Buffalo 66, Brown Bunny, I think. You guys have seen the clips of, Chloe Sevigny giving a blowjob, and she's like, wow, man, that director sucks. He's the one who sucks dick, not me.
Oh, gross. I didn't realize that. Remember when we transitioned perfectly into the episode and then didn't get past the recap?
That's on you, dude.
What do you mean that's on me?
That's on me. If I was the one taking the reins of this show, it'd be 55 minutes.
You know what? No, that is on Owen Hart for secretly being Owen Wilson this whole time. Mm-hmm. We go to the desk. Metalachi schools us as Vampiro explains his collegiate classes and his Lucha Letterman jacket. Love the matching Lucha Letterman jackets going on here.
He says, we're graduates here. And then I started thinking, it's the same temple. It's great. but instead of in the ring, there's wrestlers. It is a graduating class. This is where the graduation ceremony is held. But there's still, Mill hanging around because he might be tied there because of magic. Matanza's just like chomping at the bit. He's like, I'm going to eat these 18 to 19-year-old graduates.
Oh my gosh. AAA Mania was over the weekend, and Judas Macias was wrestling without his mask. Gosh, he's so handsome. Like I would let that man. I would have so many sexual fantasies about my professor if Mill was my professor.
Sean, let's get on some slightly alt-right stuff. When it comes to some luchadors, I'm anti-mask, okay? Let me see those beautiful blues and let me see their fuckable faces.
And show us the Epstein files.
We're doing it, guys. YouTube, we have 100 views, just like the first day of this movie's gay release.
Stryker breaks down that despite Penta's successful defense of his title against Cage, the shenanigans and the bad feelings are far from over, as we will see them in tag action tonight in our main event. Who will their partners be? Nobody knows. It's a mystery tag main event.
I did call one of the tag team.
I did not. So I was like, good on you. But I loved it. It's such a nice callback. Or I don't know which one you called.
I called Pentagon's team.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about when we get there. We should get to our first match of the evening. Daga with Cobra Moon versus PJ Black.
Oh, yeah. I love PJ Black coming out, and there's a fan, ringside, and he points at his shirt, and it's PJ Wolf's Lucha Libre shirt, and PJ's like, yeah, goes to high five, and then as the fan goes to high five, he goes too slow, and then starts walking. Man, wow. I would have been like, that's the dream. That's what you hope for.
100%. I missed that. That's so cool. Yes, that's right. The war between the reptiles and the Worldwide Underground continues in singles action as the enforcer, PJ Black of the Worldwide Underground, takes on the specialist of the reptiles, which is Daga.
And I love all these matches. I loved. They were all super just pound.
Oh, yeah. Well, and so evenly matched. No sort of squashes, especially after weeks and weeks of seeing these sacrifice matches, which I think served their purpose, either very terrifying in the case of disappearing Cortez Castro or very goofy in the case of Vinny Massaro. But to see all of these matches are so competitive.
Until in the second match, one of the challengers, Paper Mario style, takes a mushroom, gets a star, is level 100, and just starts stomping people. And he's Mario. He is literally doing Mario shit, and it rocked.
Son of Havoc is Mario, but that's spoilers.
No, it's Killshot.
Oh, gosh.
Right, yeah. We'll get into it. He's Mario.
Oh, my gosh. He is Mario. As the bell rings, yeah. But going back to how evenly matched these are, very even technical exchange. Eventually, we see PJ turn Daga's front chancery choke into a suplex, cover for 2. And it goes from that very even wrist lock to roll out. PJ sort of switching gears and just grounding Daga, making sure he can't stand up.
There was a point in this match where I'm like, whoa, did someone accidentally hit the other too hard by accident? Because there's a point where they look like they're actually pissed at each other, but I'm like, no, they're just great actors and they are really into it.
Oh, yeah. I feel like there is a certain old school, when you come up in a certain old school mentality of, this has been a very sometimes one of the things about an even exchange is sometimes it can be a little slow because you're at a stalemate. So to really fire shit up, you just kind of hit someone for real.
Yeah.
The old, I always love this story. And a couple people tell the story of wrestling Terry Funk. I've heard CM Punk tell a similar story, but I read it first in the Mick Foley autobiography, where he's like, I was such a fan of Terry Funk. Growing up, one of the coolest things about him was that right hand. He just threw this beautiful looking punch. And I always remember, like, I always wondered how he did it. And then we got to Japan, and I think it was at FMW, and he throws, and we're wrestling against each other. I'm wrestling my hero, and he throws that magical, miraculous right hand, and he just punched me in the head.
I knew where that was going. Of course. That's perfect comedy of someone being like, wow, how's he do it so lifelike? And then you get in the ring and you're like, oh, because it is real life.
Yeah, you just punched me in the head. That's part of the magic too, and it fires it up. Because I know exactly that exchange. It's like it's a beautiful strike exchange that the only way PJ really gets out of is boop, thumb to the eyes.
Oh yeah, baby. Speaking of eyes, there's a guy in the crowd they just zoom up on. He's got an eye patch on.
Yeah, I like to think. I wonder if that is sort of
foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. I wonder if they gave that guy an eye patch to foreshadow what will happen in a moment. But yeah, it's a lot of PJ. We get James's favorite spot, which is that pendulum stretch, and then PJ starts booping his head into the corner
as if he's, an extension of his penis. And speaking of, Sean, would you allow a loved one to pendulum you like that, or pendulum you in the sense of you have to team up with a priest and kill like evil people from hell as your warrior of the Dark Carnival?
Okay, great question. Thank you so much for asking.
You're welcome.
So, and to clarify, because Dark Carnival, of course, I just want to clarify, it's me, the loved one, and then we pick up a priest.
No. So I guess like in that pendulum situation, yes. But in the other pendulum situation, it's just you and a loved one. If you want to invite a priest, go for it.
I feel like if it's in the popular Pendulum, the comic series, which go listen to those episodes, they have our lowest views, but they're the best parts of Shuffling the Deck. Yeah, I want to go like, we're going around, murdering in the name of good and trying to bring vengeance to the wicked. And then we find this sad little priest boy, and he's like, oh, I'm so sad and scared. And then we're like, hey, don't be scared. Here's a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Like we adopt him. At that point, it was like we adopt a priest. The priest becomes our Robin.
Well,
and
yes,
we're
in the pendulum.
Exactly, yes.
But if you're getting pendulumed, like in the bedroom, then you don't need the priest.
No, unless
you want to. As I said, you can invite. And Sean, we do need to quickly say something. We made a promise of sorts that we would be doing another Shuffling the Deck covering the knot. And it's just, the knot is all about nothing. It's about people who don't believe in an afterlife, and that's just what happens. You become nothing. You get Mama Coco'd, essentially, And the album is a nothing. It is so boring. I got maybe 5 tracks in, and I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. This is just not my speed right now. So I don't know if we'll end up doing it.
If this is our only little Shuffling the Deck inside an episode of Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, there you go. But, we reserve the right to, we run out of ideas and we need to create content of some kind, and Jose is unavailable, so James needs to do a podcast with me. Who knows? You never know what the future may bring.
Maybe we'll just, vape a bunch and then talk about...
Yeah.
We'll redo Shuffling the Deck, but we only do... every other song on albums. See how that informs our opinion on these.
Oh my gosh, my niece and my sister and my nephew were hanging out with like the rest of my family yesterday. And a lot of times when they're driving home, my niece will take my sister's phone and like FaceTime me. And she's kind of complaining. She's going like, you know how many people I counted smoking cigarettes? And I was like, yeah, that's really bad. And then she's like, do you smoke, Uncle Sean? And I just looked at my vaporizer, just being like, technically, no. And more accurately, let's change the subject.
No, if my niece and nephew ask me questions, I'm very forward about stuff.
But you're also like, I can't justify vaping. Like, it's one thing, like, because all you do is you marijuana, which is healthy, and everyone should. It fights cancer.
Yeah. Well, I have had to tell like younger cousins of like, dude, don't just be like trying to go out and plow, like don't do that, calm yourself, find someone you actually enjoy, and then like still don't plow, like wait.
No, you want to plant seeds. You want to like cultivate the earth, and you want to make sure you're buying farmland with someone you want to build farmland with. Like you can't just go out there and plow. You need to own the land to begin with, or else someone else is they're making money off of your crops, and that's bullshit. Okay. Don't just go out there and plow.
Well, in this scenario, that's kind of telling my younger cousin, like, yeah, man, don't just plant seeds. Like, okay, don't do that, guys.
Buy land and cultivate the land. Don't just plow the land.
But then they're going to be moving to Utah and shit. That's the only place where they can buy land.
You can what's going on in Canada?
Okay.
Can you farm in Canada? There's probably some places you can still farm up in Canada.
That's where most potatoes come from in the United States, I believe.
I did not know that.
At least that's where all of Burger King's potatoes were coming from.
Can I tell you, when I first interrupted you, I thought I was just being like, a funny misunderstanding turn of phrase. But the longer I went on, the more I'm like, this is actually a pretty good metaphor for it.
Except when you're like, hey, it sounds like you're advocating for marriage, and then you can,
Not necessarily marriage, but necessarily someone that you're not just plowing something.
Okay.
You want to feel someone. You want someone you can trust. You want that.
Trust me. When you're plowing, you're feeling something, all right?
Oh, gross.
And by younger cousins, I mean like almost out of high school or just got out of high school. I'm not like telling. These are individuals who are like, yeah, man, I got a date. And it's like, no, you don't. Just calm down. Enjoy life.
Yes. Be easy.
But don't be easy. Yeah.
Don't be easy, but yeah, okay.
Unless you can be Eazy-E. AKA a bad rapper. Yeah, you guys heard me say it.
Wow. PJ whiffs on a springboard moonsault. Daga sneaks in a single leg dropkick. And we start seeing Daga. Part of PJ grounding out Daga is to prevent this explosive and varied offense. Like both of these guys are specialists. They can do high flying. They can do these hard strikes. They can do a lot of grounded stuff. But Daga is just so explosive. PJ's springboard flips over Daga to land behind him. I love this. So Daga escapes out of the corner, rolls through, hits a tornado DDT, then holds on for another front choke until PJ taps the rope with his boot. Then PJ springboard flips over Daga, just like backflip, land behind him, reverse suplex, which is crazy in and of itself. But to then hold on and do that dragon sleeper until Daga finally escapes out. He shifts his hip, gets to the corner. I'm going to jump to the end here. They do a lot, and it's very cool. Daga hits a delayed drop kick in the corner, covers for 2, tries to stay on with a crossface, but PJ rolls out, slaps Daga to slow him down.
But that only just fires him up.
Yeah. They eventually get to the top rope. They're fighting for this top rope spot. Daga lands the big old Frankensteiner. PJ rolls through, though, holds on for a pinfall. However, Daga shifts his weight, and then he's pinning PJ. They kick out. Like, they're just so evenly matched. But where PJ is dirtier, like he's slapping the face, he's doing thumb shots. He's playing dirtier. Daga is playing intense. Like, there's a weird difference between like, I'll take these shortcuts versus I'm gonna punch you as hard as I can, Terry Funk style. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of where Daga's intensity has more behind it than PJ's chicanery and shenanigans. So PJ kicks out of that pin attempt, but Daga stays on him, rolls him back up, crucifixes his arms to lock in this key lock. So it's a crucifix key lock, twisting his wrist around, and PJ Black taps out in 7 minutes, 29 seconds.
It's wild. Was not expecting that.
No. But it makes sense, especially because along with PJ's shenanigans comes a lot of showboating. And as evenly matched as they are, that Daga's putting experience points into intensity and PJ's going the other route. It's no, it's eventually on one-on-one, intensity usually just wins out. In the post-match, Daga holds PJ down by his head, just lays on a headlock as Cobra Moon battle cries for Vibora and Drago to emerge into the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And they just lay the boots into PJ before they load him into Vibora's Tombstone Pile Driver. But before he can deliver the move, the Worldwide Underground come in, make the save, and clear the ring for everyone except Vibora. I love Vibora so much. Just like everyone clears the ring, and Vibora's just standing in the middle stoically. Ricky Mundo finally gets in there. He's a little late. He trips over the top rope, tries to overhand chop the Luchasaurus, who just headbutts the intern away. And to clarify, because we weren't sure, they keep calling Ricky still an intern for the Worldwide Underground, so I'm going to assume he's an intern.
I'm upset about that.
He's an intern with too many responsibilities, which actually sounds like a shitty boss move Johnny Mundo would pull.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're not getting a promotion, but here are 10 more responsibilities. PJ finally brings in 2 kendo sticks, and they eventually send Vibora packing. Reptiles now retreating, but still standing, led by Cobra Moon, who says, "It's inevitable, Johnny Mundo. The reptile tribe is in your future. Accept or perish."
I was baffled by this, that she wants Mundo there. It's weird, and I'm curious as to where this is going to go.
Especially with the end of the episode. But yeah, Johnny's like, "That's fine, Medusa. Before you turn all these people to stone with your face." And it was like, oh, he's like, "Yeah, let's do this."
It's the eyes, not the face.
Oh, I thought he called her. I thought he said face.
No, I'm saying to Mundo, hey, that's a stupid thing someone would say, is like, you have an ugly face instead of like your freaky eyes are turning people to stone.
That's borderline romantic if I'm like, "Yeah, Medusa with your eyes turning me into stone." And then he comes in his pants just a little. Cobra clarifies, "Thanks for not saying anything."
Well, the only thing I could say is like, "Yeah, you got my dick rock hard, baby."
I know. I trapped both of us in a corner, and you wisely took the fire escape ladder to the rooftop.
You stiffened up my prostate that it's so rock hard that it dropped out of my anus. Oh yeah, no, I can just rub it whenever.
This is such a monkey's paw, where I asked you to comment, and I'm like, wait, no, I should have just moved on.
Oh, you turned my lungs to stone, so every time I jack off, it's like autoerotic asphyxiation, babe.
Oh my God, if every time you jerked off, I can't. We spend so much time meandering.
You spent so much time.
Wait, hey now. Yes, I did. Cobra clarifies next week it will be 4v4. If the reptiles win, Johnny will bow and serve the queen of the reptiles. But if the Worldwide Underground win, then any wish Johnny can imagine will be granted. Johnny thinks that's a win-win. He'll win a wish, and, quote, "You four jamokes win a first-class trip to Slam Town." Do you want to try that one more time? Yeah, where we say it together?
No. I was just going to say, they're the good guys now. When you, in unison, say this and people in the crowd also say it, you are the good guys now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's because they're so goofy. Like, where the reptiles are very mysterious and slippery, and that just makes them, like, by nature of what their characters are doing, less open. Like, there's less for people to latch onto. Yeah, like, I think it's still bad guy versus bad guy, because in the match I would argue Daga was clearly the hero. Daga was the Technico versus PJ's Rudo, as well as like good guy versus actual bad guy. People were cheering Daga and booing PJ. But yeah, when you have a catchphrase that the rest of your group all jump in on, and then the temple can jump in on that as well, like, it's awesome. Also, at the end of there is a big like hands in that Ricky is not invited to. Like they're all in the ring, but Ricky is just like, "Hey, wait, are you guys doing the hands in?" Oh,
it would have been very funny if we got a zoom up on it and they all put their hands in, and then you see a little doll hand come in, so like the doll's in on it, but Ricky is not.
Would have been amazing. We go to the temple locker room. 1/3 of the trio's champion, Mac, is putting his stuff away as he's surprised by Katrina. Quote, "Damn, lady, they need to put a bell on you or something."
I have a bell on me because of my keys. Everyone knows, oh, James is in the vicinity.
Also because you are, what's the word? What Silver Surfer is to Galactus? Emissary. You are an emissary for Mil Muertes.
Okay.
Maybe you're an emissary for Henry. Do you think Henry is a death dealer the way Mil Muertes is?
No, I was going to say like the Herald of, because that's technically what Silver Surfer is.
That is more correct than what I was thinking. I think emissary works, but not as correct as herald.
Yeah,
and because you just love that improv, baby. You love doing them heralds.
Ooh,
just like Katrina, who comes with grim news. Katrina does. Mac has crossed Mil Muertes, and Mil does not forget, and he does not relent. He is coming for the Mac.
real quick, before every single episode, Katrina comes out and says, hey guys, to inform my character, can I get a one-word suggestion? And everyone just goes, weird. Because, yeah, man, that's what this is. Tell us what happens next. Tell us what happens next.
This is the best television ever. Mac admits Mill scares the hell out of him, but he tells Katrina to tell Mill to back off or he'll drop that creep and not give it a second thought. Mac's a tough guy. He's a hero of the people. Katrina smiles before telling Mac death swirls around him. Breathe it in. Your cousin certainly did. Then she Fonzies open a locker, just punches a locker and it swings open. Mac looks inside and screams, oh shit, Big Rick! And we see a skull with an eye patch smoking a cigar.
Weird.
The cigar is actively lit.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I should have actually grabbed a screenshot of that because that shit is, man, like that's the shit that's like, we could have gotten that in season 2. It's so good in season 4.
That's what I will make the GIF.
Cool. Please do. Just a cigar. Just a skull with an eye patch smoking a cigar. If that's not like the profile picture of your gamer tag, are you even a gamer? Amazing. Amazing. Dragon Azteca Jr. is in the ring with a microphone and has recently won Gift of the Gods Championship. Not to be confused with King Cuerno, who James thought won last week. That's what, and not like at the beginning of the match breakdown. After we went through the entire match and I described the pinfall, James goes, yeah, King Cuerno, that's my, I'm like, no, hold on, Dragon Azteca won. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah.
Because in my heart of hearts, I thought Cuerno was going to win. He did not. Mm-hmm. So then my brain just kind of filled in the gap of like, no, man, the guy you wanted to win won. The guy who should have won. That's
a good brain. That's a brain that protects you. But I do love Dragon. And like I said last week, after the promo he cuts this week, it's nice to see just like an all-out good guy. Yeah. Like, where Penta's still, as much as like Penta is over, like, more realistically, he's still an in-betweener. You know, he's got a lot of darkness. He's got a lot of flaws, which we'll get into.
Also, as you said a few weeks ago, we have not had what you called a fighting champ, whereas now we have 2. Because what Dragon Azteca says is he's not cashing in this belt. He is going to take it all the way to Ultima Lucha Quattro to take on Pentagon in the like main event match. So he will just be defending it as much as he can until we get, so that's like 12 episodes, 12 weeks of him just defending, which is, I hope he does it. It's going to be a gauntlet.
I know, but he's such a, like, we saw how much of his ass got kicked last week and he still came out on top. Like, if anyone can take that, like, babyface heat on heat just to fire back up in the end, you know, Dragon is the guy. Dragon is the guy. We have a trios championship match next. The Rabbit Tribe, Paul London, Saltador, and Mala Suerte versus Killshot, Son of Havoc, and the Mac. And by Killshot, we do mean Mario with a superstar.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot going on. The Rabbits seem as united as ever with their new dark purpose, while Killshot, on the other hand, still seems a little salty from both Havoc's inclusion as well as Killshot's loss during the Gift of the Gods qualifiers. Still a big chip on this man's shoulder. The bell rings. Killshot demands Havoc not to start, actively pointing like, you get in the corner. I'm starting this match. Definitely sort of like, I have something to prove, but is not in a way where he's like admitting like, hey guys, I kind of need this. Can I start out? Like, very much like, no, you guys get out there. It's me. It's interesting because like, if he had said that, like, hey guys, I kind of need this. Can I start this off? I feel like both Mac and Havoc would be like, of course, buddy. Yeah, we're a team. We're here to support you. But it's not that. It's what we said about where the Cuerno turn that Killshot is not experiencing, where Cuerno is now letting people in. He's being a lot more open, and where Killshot is like not. He is closing himself off. And that is both in wrestling and in life, is such a dangerous way to go about. No man is an island. We need to live with each other. Like, if you're on that beach and you're digging a hole by yourself and you're not feeling social, that's fine. But like, if someone comes up and is like, hey, like, if someone offers to help and you need the help, don't be so proud that you don't let them in. Let people into your hole is what I'm trying to say.
Also, they could have said, well, we know last match after we won, you were able to line up the 3 little things to give you a star in the next match. Like, you got this. You're going to, when you need it, you're going to say B or whatever. It's going to rain down that little star. You're going to get it and just go to town on these fuckers. These white rabbits should have turtle shells on their back because they are about to get beat.
Yeah. I mean, this entire match, like, that is such a beautiful spot towards the end of Killshot just going ham. But I feel like when I was watching this match, all the little high spots do such a good job of telling the story of these two teams. So specifically, the Trios champs being so powerful, but not being able to really communicate. Like, as the bell opens, there's a wrist lock, and Paul is dragging Killshot to his corner. Saltador tags himself in, but Killshot escapes, backs up to his corner. So that way his team come in and all 6 teams just kind of square up with each other. And it's like, and that's the thing, the match is very exciting, and it's that sort of beautiful car crash that Trios matches are so good at being. Of like, there's a million stuff happening. And it seems like chaos, but it's not just exciting spots for the sake of exciting spots. They continue this story. I love it's the fight outside. I want to find that. Eventually it's Mala Suerte and the Mac in the ring. And Mac hits the flying shoulder into Samoan Drop moonsault combo. It's Saltador who kicks out and then rolls to the floor. And it's like, and very common spot is sort of seeing the teams on the floor. The pile, right? There's a pile of people on the floor and they are fighting for this dive on the floor. You know, Saltador escapes, Mac hits the ropes for the running dive, but Paul trips him up and drags him out. So now Paul, Saltador, and Mac are on the floor. So then Mala gets ready to dive, but Killshot intercepts. Just flying knee, dumps him out of the ring, really kind of mean, almost dumping him onto the Mac. But now Mala Suerte, all the rabbits are on the floor. And Killshot's in the ring. He jumps to the apron. He has this running PK kick that he does off the apron, but Paul trips him up again. Killshot lands on his head before falling off the apron. Havoc tries to salvage all these high spots by climbing to the top rope, but Saltador dumps him off before Saltador finally lands this springboard senton, hitting the entire pile. And again, if it wasn't for Killshot sort of being in this single-minded, maybe one of them would have been able to take advantage of the pile. But like, by the way, Killshot is trying to carry the world on his shoulders, the Rabbit Tribe come together in teamwork. As evil as they are, they do have the power of teamwork and friendship behind them.
Which I don't know if all of them are evil yet. They they seem less apprehensive as the previous episode, but I still am not sure if they are, hey, we have the warrior spirit, we have a match, we're going to do it. And Paul seems he's still like angry and evil, which is very weird when you go sober and then you're like, oh, I'm angry all the time. That maybe, don't go sober. But
I wouldn't say Paul went sober. I think he went on a different, more dangerous drug, which is the drug of murder and Masquerita Sagrada's blood. So, I would say he's high on Masquerita Sagrada's blood.
I didn't say like get sober. I'm like, he is just someone who's like, you want to know what? I don't need these drugs anymore. It's not like, hey, I need to get off these drugs. He's like, no, I'm going to get off these drugs and then my mind will be clear. And it's like, no, your mind's more polluted than ever, man.
Yeah. And that's what I think. Like, I think he's not on the cool shrooms trips that like made them the silly little guys in previous seasons. I think it's he got high off murder, or getting high off of the dark word of the White Rabbit, Karrion Kross, their new overlord. Maybe is it a drug to have a dom? Where I would say, the White Rabbit is definitely doming the Rabbit Tribe. Who's to say? I do love. Speaking of Paul's like new sort of overbearing evil persona, immediately after that spot, he's barking orders to Mala and Salt, bring Mac back in the ring, and they do. So Paul climbs to the top rope. He's looking for that 450 splash, but Killshot interrupts. And then Mac meets them back up there. But then Mala and Salt kind of like try and hold them down. And then finally son of Havoc, makes the base for this Tower of Doom spot complete and sends Paul crashing to the mat. Like, again, as the more evil Paul gets, the more he seems to fail. Like, the more he's like, yeah, do this, ha ha ha, and then immediately pays for it by just getting Tower of Doomed to hell.
Isn't that the way of the devil?
Truly, though. Havoc double turtle stomps. The fight continues, and again, it's this seemingly chaos, which is actually benefiting the trios champs because they are not on the same page. The more this trios match devolves into chaos, the more the individual moments can shine. And each of these guys have such exciting individual moves. It's like, it's how they're going to continue to win if they cannot get on the same page, is having these matches just devolve. Especially to see Killshot just go on a fucking tear. Like, Havoc hits the double turtle stomp, but Mala clears him out. And as soon as Mala Suerte clears Havoc, Killshot takes that star, like hits the B button, star floats down, and just smashes everyone. Flying knee strike, tiger feint kick, double stomp onto Mala in the ring. And that's when he just starts like spamming these double stomps. Hits Paul on the outside of the ring. Just like a force of nature, hangs on to the apron, starts climbing the top rope. Saltador is like, hey, stop it. Killshot's like, no, die. And fucking murders Saltador on the other side of the apron. And until Mala finally in the ring. And this is sort of the folly of Killshot, where he's taking on everyone, but eventually the numbers game is going to catch up. Mala catches him with like a counter cutter when Killshot tries to finish the match. But Mac is back. And this is like, as much as Killshot might not recognize he's on a team, the rest of this team is still there for him. Mm-hmm. Mac comes back in, hits Mala Suerte with a stunner. Havoc comes back with a lightning fast suicida to clear out the remaining rabbits on the outside. And now it's just Mac, Killshot, and Mala Suerte. Killshot on the apron. Mac climbs to the top rope for that 5-star bullfrog splash. Hits Mala Suerte, but Killshot with a blind tag enters to pin and win the match for his team in 7 minutes, 21 seconds. And there is a very uncomfortable stare down between Mac and Killshot, because it's not just that Killshot, it might not just be, we don't know, that Killshot just came in to steal the tag, because the thing we saw this in when Mac tried to win the title, the Lucha Underground title, when he jumped off that ladder. The thing about the bullfrog splash is that Mac bounces off of the opponent. So he can't immediately pin the guy. So like, it's not like Killshot ran in and pushed Mac off to do the pinfall. Yeah. It's that Mac was too far away to make the pin, so Killshot ran in immediately to hit that pin. Like, is Killshot just being a narcissist? Or does Killshot recognize the fatal flaw of this move, knew Mac was going to hit it, and was, as a good teammate should be, filling in those gaps?
Yeah, which if that was planned, if they said, hey, I'm going to do this, and then you smack my back right before I do it, so then you can get the pin, that's just good strategy, which Killshot is known to do. Him and Cuerno, I think, are, in storyline at least, are the ones who are the tactical individuals. So it could be, but it's just him wanting to take it, you know?
Or it's not communicating it. And it's the difference between Cuerno, even Cuerno later in this episode, we see that highlighted, where I think Killshot realized that, and I think that was going through his head, but he didn't communicate that with the rest of his team. He at no point went to Mac and said, hey, that bullfrog splash is awesome, but you land off of the guy. So if you hit that, I'm going to tag in.
Yeah.
Which is, no matter how good it's such a good metaphor for relationships. No matter how good of a job you're doing, if you don't have that baseline of communication, like, you could do the sweetest, most romantic thing in the world, big grand gesture, but if your communication's not there, it's still kind of just a narcissistic, egoist move.
Yeah, like if I were to give Nicole a concoction that zonks her out for a day and she wakes up and we're in Paris, but I didn't tell her about that. It would be okay if she's like, oh, this is bad. Like, you should not have done this.
100%. 100%. Where it is such a better move, because if the move you're making in a relationship isn't actively building that trust, it's not really for the relationship, it's for you. It like if you don't take that moment to stop, am I doing this for us or am I doing this for me so I can be the hero? And we hear as much after the match. Killshot throws the belt at his teammates before telling off, especially Havoc, I am this team. And it's like, that is actually a very good strategy. That is great teamwork. But if you're not communicating that, even great teamwork can become shitty teamwork.
I wonder if there are rules within wrestling universes, or if it's ever happened where a trios team or even a tag team, but let's say trios because there's like a voting party there. If two of the people want one of them out, but they are the champions, how would you go about doing that? Because you can't just like slot someone in and remove them. I guess maybe like it's a one-on-one match between the person they want out and the person they want in. And if the person who wants in wins, gets to go in. Because this would be a situation where you're like, well, he's making us lose or like making us look bad. It's not fun being the trios champ if he is also a trios champ with us. How do we go about resolving this? Because clearly his mind will never change. Okay, who would we love to have in here? Oh, Masquerita. Let's see if Masquerita wants to, take out Killshot. Can't find him.
Nope,
where is he?
You just see Paul London in the background washing his hands, looking over his shoulder, going, oh, oh. And it's one of those things that probably comes down to, I'm trying to think of an example of like, even a tag team that's like, I want to continue this belt, but I'm not with this partner. And it's like, I know exactly what Antonio would say. He'd be all about it. He'd be like all, ooh, well, I guess you're stuck with each other. Oh no, you don't like each other, but you have to be the champions. I'm such a pervert for this interpersonal conflict.
Oh, and it's like the Mac and Havoc are like, okay, well, if you're not going to let us choose who can try to beat up Killshot, I guess we'll just beat you up to like make you change Killshot out. And then he's like, oh, wait, no, yeah, you guys can have your match. You can have your match. Yeah.
Have we seen Antonio weasel the way Dario did yet? I don't know. Antonio might have a gun. That's my only concern is Antonio just might have a gun.
He's got a gun, whereas, like you can run away from a solid bull sculpture, but a gun, it's pretty hard to.
Yeah, guns are pretty fast unless you're Superman.
But he's got those milky eyes. I don't think his aim's that good.
His aim is all right. We have the main event coming up next. Mystery Partners tag match. Cage and someone versus Penta and someone. Cage comes out first. He knew he had to choose a partner who's a cold-blooded killer, so he called on a former Trios ally, which I forgot about. I was watching, I'm like, oh yeah, they were partners for a long time. King Cuerno.
BCKC, baby.
Hell yeah. Because I forget who their trios. Oh, it was, what's his face? The blue collar warrior.
Tejano?
Yeah. In that first trios tournament, which is so... This is what I'm talking about, and we'll see it as the match continues. King Cuerno still just as strategic as Killshot is, but now that he's been in the temple a little bit longer, and that he has sort of turned like leveled up in his wisdom, he understands communication, and he is a much clearer partner. He's not a better strategist necessarily than Killshot, but he is a better partner to Cage here.
And after they said King Cuerno, I was like, wait, okay, let me pause it. Let me figure out a guess for Pentagón. And I'm going through everyone. And then I just come to the conclusion. I'm like, I think in my heart of hearts, he would choose no one. But I don't know if they'll let him, but I think he's going to choose no one. And maybe he'll be like, but I had to have someone, so I just chose this person. Maybe he's like Melissa, but just stay on the outside of the ring. Just sit where you're always sitting. You don't need to do that because Antonio says I need this. But I said no one, and then what does he do?
So also real quick, when you said San for Melissa Santos, I thought you were going to say Sonic the Hedgehog, which also would have been great.
Oh, yeah.
And Penta's like Sonic the Hedgehog. And okay. Penta comes out. The first thing he does is remind Cuerno, you're in my temple, which is fucking cold-blooded. He goes on to say he doesn't need anyone. He's going to show his temple how he can and will break both of you in half. Cero fucking miedo. And yeah, Penta chooses no one. Penta chooses himself.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like one of those things we talked before when Mac rushed in for a bold but ultimately kind of dumb move. Like sometimes you do something bold and it's not strategically smart, but it's bold, baby.
And to the audience members, I don't know if Pentagon's still doing Cero Miedo.
Yeah,
just chant that thing. You don't need to also chant like, I am Pentagon Dark and I believe in my heart of hearts. It's like, no, just say the Cero Miedo, because then you know you will sync up with what he is saying, because there are a lot of people trying to catch the stuff before that, and it's just like someone bad at doing overdubs on their music, and you as the engineer got to go in and cut it all up and make it fit.
Absolutely. He does it in such the perfect way where he's not like, he's queuing up the audience without turning to the audience to say, are you guys ready to say it with me? Like, it's like, my name is Pentagon or Pentagon Dark. Small beat. Cero miedo. It's that simple, gang. And he's absolutely, I feel like by now people have sort of gotten used to it. I hope so. If you're at a show, for me, and for James, nail the Cero miedo. The bell rings, Cage and Cuerno start in the ring, and it's this kind, like, which is already terrifying. Like the fact that Penta doesn't wait for them to get to the corner, he just immediately jumps in, chops both competitors down to size, then dumps Cuerno onto the apron, baits Cage into throwing a discus lariat, which Penta ducks and leaves Cuerno open to eat the full fucking lariat before Penta starts spamming those sling blades, forcing Cage to roll out, and then into Penta's top tope con giro.
Real
outside
quick,
yes, please.
I love it because like this was a show that had seasons. If either someone asked Cage or Penta, like, hey, what are you going to do in between seasons? I'm going with my family. We're going to go to Disney, this and that, just going to relax, do some basic upkeep on everything. But what about you, Penta or Cage? And if either of them, because this is, I think, what they would do, they go, I'm going to get yoked over the break. Yeah. And it's like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by yoked? And they're like, I want to add on like 20 more pounds. And it's like, how? Why?
Where is it going to go? Cage, where are you putting it?
He's like, well, like my abs could be a little more defined. And, I guess my ass, look at Mill over there. I don't got a Mill ass.
Mill's just flexing in the corner next to the sink where Paul is washing his hands. Saying, oh. yeah.
On my end, we did that exactly when both of us did it.
Absolutely. We were there. We're good partners. We communicate. We would, we would never either tag one of ourselves in to the behest of our partners and or drug the other and take us on a whirlwind but not romantic Parisian trip.
And also in that same locker room, Chavo's opening up his bag, ready for disappointment. No. It's the last day of the season. And he's like, oh, thank God, it's just Big Rick's skull. I don't have to clean up anything. I can just hand this over to Cortez. He'll deal with it, as he is a police officer.
Hey, the skull is still smoking. Should I be worried about that? How did the cigar get lit? This skull has no thumbs to work a lighter. Outside the ring, Penta tosses Cuerno away before sending Cage into a roll of chairs and signifies to his temple, Penta's temple, his believers, Cero miedo. But as he hits that, Cuerno rushes him from behind and tackles him onto the stairs. So scary. Before throwing him into Cage's standing superplex. Again, like not just the 2-on-1 advantage, but this is new Cuerno who understands communication. He hit, and now Penta, helpless in the middle of the ring, eats Cuerno's frog splash, followed by Cage's top rope elbow. Cage pins for 2. The fact that Penta still kicks out at 2, and it signifies like that's dumb, but like bold, like take the pin, get out of this match. Like you're going to get more hurt, but also like fuck, it's really cool. Like, even as I saw him say, like, I'm not taking a partner, I'm like, that's so fucking stupid, but so fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the way he doesn't even address Cage. He tells Cuerno, this is my temple. Hey, I've been fighting Cage for a little bit, so he knows, Cuerno, this is my temple now.
I think the only cool choice that I would have been like, oh, hell yeah, is if he chose Stryker. Because Stryker's been retired, and Stryker's like, I actually want to see Stryker wrestle right now. And then he goes in, he talks all this like cool stuff. He's knowledgeable about the sport. And then, he gets tagged in just a couple times, but really lays in spots, does it real cool, redeems himself for me being like, in WWE, like that dude he was a chode there. And then I'm like, holy, because that's what Lucha Underground does. It turns chodes into just rock hard as if Cobra Moon's face is looking at ya.
Okay, great. You also bring up the other thing I was thinking that I wonder how much subtext. One of the things about viscerality in art is that, and we talked about this last week, the more visceral, the less nuanced, you don't really have room for subtext. But I wonder if there is a subtext that, as much as Penta's like, this is my temple, I'll do this myself to show everyone, he doesn't have friends. You were mentioning before, he doesn't have friends.
Yeah.
He's broken everyone's arm except for Matt Stryker, but Matt was not about it. He's not like, oh, cool, Penta's breaking another arm. Matt's like, no, we don't have insurance. Please stop doing this. We're running out of guys.
Did he try to break Melissa's arm?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, because I was going to be like, well, maybe Melissa, did he break Mascarita's arm?
I don't know, probably. At some point, he definitely, I'm pretty sure he did Mascarita dirty. Like, there's no one in this temple. I think even in his trios, when he was, because I don't remember who his trios partners were, but I'm pretty sure it didn't end well in that first trios tournament.
I think the only person is like if Ray came back or like Chavo. Like, I think he could get down with Chavo because Chavo is like the bad version, like the bad boy version. You know what I mean, of Penta.
Where he is like sort of where Penta, he does the thing he lacks is Penta's exuberance of himself, his ego, where Chavo's not too proud. Where he'll be like, no, I don't like you, but I can get booked and I can make myself, by winning this match, I will sort of raise my stock closer to the Lucha Underground title. Yeah, I don't have to like you to tag with you.
Yeah.
Where I think Penta, like that's the fatal flaw we're seeing in Penta's championship reign, is that he is too proud. And so there's one point he makes a cover in this match, and classic Penta, instead of hooking the leg, he uses the other arm to count along with the referee and doesn't get the 3 because he didn't fully cover his body weight. Like this, the pride of Penta continues to be his greatest enemy, and it pisses Vampiro off. Like this, we mentioned before how Vampiro is like, I'm about to kick this guy set me on fire. And he is not showing that intensity anymore. He's not showing that focus. He is lost in the sauce of his, both the believers believing in him as well as his own hype.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the match because we got to start wrapping up, baby.
Sure thing. Penta kicks Cuerno in the head. Like, he's not done yet. Oh, I also love how Cage tags out to Cuerno, who then continues to methodically dismantle the champ. Cuerno not looking for any sort of big moment for himself here. He's looking to continue the game plan. I'm tagged in at this moment. We're probably not ending the match here, but I can dismantle Penta further.
He does one of the biggest moments of the match, though, which is, well, Penta is in the corner. He looks at the ref and goes, "What's that?" And then the ref looks, and then he just quickly dick kicks City's goddamn Pentagon. It rocked.
Genius. The strategic genius of King Cuerno continues to be on display. Penta eventually kicks Cuerno in the head, hits the ropes, but Cage doesn't even drop. He's already there waiting for Penta to trip him up so that Cuerno can come back and return the favor and kick Penta in the head. Eventually, Cuerno tags Cage in. And this is where, he kicks him in the dick. This is where he kicks him in the dick. Love it. Penta finally fires up. This is like sort of this last moment. Super kicks Cuerno and Cage before the flipping pile driver off of the second rope. Normally, this is where he would then load up for the package pile driver. But he's got 2-on-1. He's got to move quick. He jumps for the pin, but Cage kicks out at 2. And then it just gets real nasty. Cage counters a running Penta by lifting him up and dropping him into Cuerno's knee. Thrill of the kill onto the champ, and then Cage exhibiting his sort of lack of a journey. How Cuerno is clearly the wisest here, because Cage sends Cuerno to the back early. Mm-hmm. Cuerno hits that thrill of the kill, and then he's like, "Thank you, I've got this, bye-bye." But Cuerno not taking that personally. Again, the growth of Cuerno to be like, yeah, you know what? This is your match. It looks good for me to be next to the title, but this is your match. Go ahead.
Well, that is very Hunterman-like in the sense that there's going to be some people who want to, let's say, hunt an elephant. It's bad to do, but there are people out there who, if you really want to kill an elephant, they will lead you to the correct area to find an elephant to kill. They will do everything for you up until, like, shooting the gun to kill the elephant, and then you get to shoot it, go up there and kind of, pose with a dead animal because you're a sort of a monster, and that's what Cage is. No, he's a machine.
Wow, I didn't put that together. That's a very astute comparison. Wow, yeah. And it's what Cuerno, and it's kind of what Cuerno does, what he has to do. Like, I think even as much as Cuerno is a good guy now, he doesn't want other people to think he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Like the way he talked to Katrina of like, yeah, I stole the gauntlet sort of for my own, like he wants people to think he has ulterior motives, which like, if he does, it's not for himself anymore. Mm-hmm. But like, it behooves him for people to still think he's a bad guy. Like, so like, yeah, I'm working with Cage to sort of set up the hunt to, and I always think of the Teddy Roosevelt, the guy's all tied a bear to a tree so that Teddy could shoot him in the head. Teddy, of course, does, and then that's where we get the teddy bear, is how Theodore Roosevelt refused to just shoot this unarmed bear for all intents and purposes. But Cuerno sort of filling that role. And yeah, I'm good to go to the back. This is it's the growth we see in Cuerno that we don't see in Cage, that we don't see. I don't know if anyone sort of has that kind of growth. I guess Paul in the opposite direction, where Paul's becoming more evil and more lost, but like seeing specifically growth, and by becoming a good guy, gaining wisdom, gaining this, like, again, all these moments where they're communicating so clearly, where Cuerno is not afraid to sort of give up limelight to continue their game plan. I love character arcs. It's so satisfying as a viewer. But yeah, to finish this match off, after he sends Cuerno to the back, Cuerno agrees, drill claw and a cover. Cage wins the match at 5 minutes and 48 seconds, as Cuerno is just hitting the back curtain, turns around to watch.
The hubris of PD Jr. has been broken, much like many arms at the hands of PD Jr.
Absolutely, as well as the skull of Sweet Sweet Pentagón. Cage pulls out 2 chairs, throws them into the ring, 1 chair under Penta's head, the other in Cage's hands, as he sandwiches Penta's head between them twice in the one-man concerto, leaves Pentagón twitching on the floor as Cage poses with the Lucha Underground Championship.
He should have broke his arm too.
He should. We'll see. We got a couple more episodes before Ultima Lucha. And then this, I forgot how in-depth this was. We cut to a post-credit scene, the desert ruins, as Indiana Johnny and Taya are sneaking around. Indiana Johnny is Johnny Mundo wearing an Indiana Jones hat.
California Johns is what I'm calling him.
California Johns is good. I'll go with California Johns. Just remind me, because in my notes it's different. Johnny urges Taya to hurry, as Cobra is soon going to realize there's no such thing as a serpent's paw, which is a bit, I imagine they cut from the final edit, or Johnny's just like, no, they'll get it. It's stinky, apparently. They're like, ew. But Johnny lowers the rope into the pit to venture further. And as Johnny and Taya round a corner, remarking it's time to cut the head off of a snake, we realize where they are. Where they lowered that rope into, it is the temple of the reptile tribe. The headquarters where Cobra and Daga beheaded Pindar, and where Drago has been chained up this whole time. And Drago is still chained up. He sees the duo enter and he growls as the two turn to see Vibora kick Taya in the head. This is so cool, but it hurts me. I gotta get through it. Johnny fights the Luchasaurus to no avail, who Vibora finally grips him by the neck and begins to rear naked choke California John's the fuck out as Taya wakes up, takes the bat they brought in, the bat that says Vera Loca, and just brings it directly into the groin of Vibora. Ooh, it takes him out.
I thought it was the back of the knee.
It was either, maybe it might have been the knee. I thought it was the groin, but maybe I've just been watching too many episodes of America's Funniest Home Videos.
Okay.
Johnny says, let's kneecap this turd cutter. But Taya takes up the sword that beheaded Pindar, that ritualistic sword, and instead reminds Johnny what they came here to do, cut off the head of the snake. And I love this. Like, Johnny is sort of, he asks, like, are you sure about this? Because this is a full-on murder. Are you sure we're ready to just murder? And Taya explains she never wants to lose Johnny to the reptile tribe. He's like, you'll never lose me, babe. Big kiss. Like, oh, it's so romantic. But then immediately after, Taya swings the sword and the camera gets covered in a green viscous fluid. Just up right into the camera lens.
And throughout this entire time, Drago has been there but hasn't been doing anything, which reminds us that unless he is told what to do, he's not going to do it because Drago still inside is a good person.
Also, I think he's chained to the pillar this whole time.
Oh, okay. That could be it too. Okay.
Yeah, like he can't do anything. That's why all he can do is kind of like growl when they come in and sing Vibora. But it also speaks to like whether or not he is a good or bad person, how the reptile tribe functions. They still don't trust Drago enough to let him free, which is their big downfall. Maybe if there was 2-on-2, Taya wouldn't be swinging that big sword into my favorite Luchasaurus's head. But like Drago can't do anything. They leave Taya and Johnny. However, Johnny comes back, picks up his hat, Indiana Jones style, puts it on, and tells the trained Drago, hey, we were never here. Bye. As Drago can only look on in, I described it as hate and shame, as the camera cuts from Drago to the decapitated head of Vibora. And the dragon gives out one final growl before the episode fades to black.
I am curious as to if Vibora will just be magically reborn next episode to be
would you
in
call
that.
him Tall Man Jones?
Oh, well, no. I mean, will Vibora be back? Or will they have to find a fourth member to fill that in? And if they do, who will it be?
An amazing question. I'm so bummed. Like, obviously, in the continuing series of Sean gets predictions wrong, looks like Vibora will not be becoming Lucha Underground champion on account of he doesn't have a head. He might get rebirthed, but as far as we've seen, I don't know if the reptiles have that ability.
She says she can grant any wish.
That's true, but she's also kind of an egomaniac herself. And well, I was going to say, I'm trying to think, well, we'll see. I guess it's not too late, but it is looking bad in the continuing series of Sean gets predictions wrong.
Yeah!
But I won't make this prediction. I will make this a promise. Y'all should check out Shakespeare Blood Oath. Middle of September, we're putting up Macbeth, the tragedy of the Scottish tyrant, and we'd love for you to be there. September is going to be our free park shows. If you want to sit inside, and spend money on a ticket, we're also going to have some more theater shows in October, and you can always check us out on our social medias, get involved in our mailing list, and get involved in your local government. Because you think local, you fuck globally, baby.
Hey guys, head over to patreon.com/MLMpod, where for $5 a month, you get exclusive content every single Friday. Last Friday was the aforementioned Death to Squids, discussing centric episodes of step-by-step having to deal with action, sci-fi, and horror, as well as
Jello?
What?
And Jello?
Oh yeah, and Jello. There's a super funny Jello shit. It's very funny. So check that out. But this Friday we'll be engaged with Nicolas Cage discussing, I think it's called like Ghost something. It's not Ghost Rider. It's some other ghost thing that Nicolas Cage did in 2015.
Huh. Hell yeah. I can't even begin to think.
Yeah.
Ghost penis.
Probably. And
keep going.
If you're a $10 patron, you get all of that plus monthly bonus exclusive content in the form of straight to Patreon. This month will be Nicole and I discussing The Monkey. I know it didn't go straight to video, but I needed something because Jose and Corey canceled in 1 week, but then Jose was able to make it up in a couple days. But I was like, I need something just in case. We need Friday filled. Nicole and I, we are discussing The Monkey. It's a very funny episode of us just chit-chatting, so check that out. And $10 patrons get their name shouted out on every single free feed podcast. So let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Alex Z. The Waz, Orion, my Bickle brother in common law, Joshua, Jake, Steve Barnes, a sweet child of time, and Intro Void, my mother, Lil Corey's BFF, and now former roommate Shane. From This Movie's Gay, as well as twitch.tv/core winning, it's Corwin. From the Rom Complex, as well as Formulaic, a podcast and script writing, it's twitch.tv/R2 Shelby 2. And from Speed Radio, a podcast and all things Sonic the Hedgehog, it's Tay, aka Zinny D. And I've been James.
And I've been Sean, and this has been Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. Purple Prancer forever, be like Bob.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah.